often examines physical health and physical activity and sports participation separately. So there is a limited Philippine-based evidence integrating these variables within PATFIT context. Next, this study also examines whether physical health and physical activity engagement predicts sports participation among PATFIT students using mixed method approach to generate both statistical and contextual insights. So this study has a strong social value because it addresses declining physical activity among Filipino college students, which supports national curriculum implementation under CHED and provides locally grounded evidence for improving sports participation strategies that could promote lifelong health behaviors. Now, this study is anchored in pragmatic worldview, which means that it prioritizes the research problem and its real world application rather than adhering strictly to one methodological tradition. Since sports participation is influenced by both measurable behaviors, the lived experiences, a convergent mixed methods design was most appropriate. We have here quantitative and quantitatively, it will examine physical health and physical activity engagement, which predicts sports participation using this PHQ, IPAC, and SPQ. And then quantitatively, it will explore how students interpret and experience their participation decisions within PATFIT context. So the findings interpreted as a context specific insights for Philippine HEIs. Now, theoretical foundations, we have three here. Self-determination theory by Deci and Ryan, social cognitive theory by Bandura, and ecological model of physical activity by Sales. This will measure predictors, the physical health and physical activity, and the outcome is the sports participation. Importantly, motivation and self-efficacy are not directly measured variables, but these are explanatory mechanisms that will help interpret the findings conceptually. Next, the audience and beneficiaries of this study, it has multiple beneficiaries within Philippine higher education. First is for FATFIT instructors and PE teachers. The findings may guide health and activity profiling to support the readiness-based and differentiated instruction. The other one is curriculum planners and program coordinators, which may inform refinements in the PATFIT sequence, including preparatory conditioning and better alignment of electives with student readiness. For administrators, wellness offices, and teacher training institutions, this will result to support targeted interventions and data-driven decision making. And for the researchers and policymakers, this will provide locally grounded evidence to inform future research and policy on student health and sports participation. So overall, this study moves beyond general advocacy and offers measurable, actionable insights for institutional improvement. What's the purpose of this study? The purpose of this study is to examine whether physical health and physical activity engagement significantly predicts sports participation among PATFIT students in selected higher education student institutions in Region 11. Using convergent mixed method design, this study will combine quantitative regression analysis with qualitative exploration students to live experiences. This approach will allow both statistical prediction and contextual explanation of sports participation within the PATFIT framework. Now, we have here the research questions. Using convergent mixed method, this study will examine the predictive relationship of physical health and physical activity engagement and sports participation among PATFIT students in Region 11. The quantitative strand, the research question is, what is the level of physical health in PATFIT students in Davao region? What is the level of physical activity engagement among PATFIT students in Davao region? What is the level of sports participation among PATFIT students in Davao region? And is there a significant relationship between physical health and sports participation and physical activity engagement and sports participation among students or PATFIT students in Davao region? To what extent do physical health and physical activity engagement jointly predict sports participation and PATFIT students in Davao region? Qualitative strand naman, I have here three research questions. What are the lived experiences of PATFI students in Davao region regarding their physical health, physical activity, engagement, and sports participation? Second is how do these experiences explain or illuminate quantitative results of the study? And last is to what extent do qualitative findings corroborate, expand, and explain quantitative results? literature review, I have here the empirical trends and conceptual issues, uh, including conceptual clarification, empirical findings, and methodological gaps. Another one, I have also contextual gaps and research justifications, including cultural institutional differences, Philippine pathway context, which includes limited predictive modeling in Philippine HAIs, and the dynamic relationship among these variables. In the identified research gap, no Philippine HAI study has examined PHQ and IPAC as adjoint predictors for SPQ, integrated quantitative prediction with qualitative explanation. So this all lead to supports the need for convergent mixed method design. Next is on the research design. This study is employs a convergent parallel mixed method design. So in this approach, both quantitative and qualitative data are collected during the same phase, analyzed independently and integrated during interpretation. As you can see, the quantitative strand uses descriptive relational design to examine whether the physical health and physical activity in significantly predicts sports participation through regression analysis. And then simultaneously, there is a qualitative strand also that adapts phenomenological approach to explore students' lived experiences, motivations, and contextual influences related to sports participation. So by giving equal priority to both strands, this design allows statistical relationship to be corroborated and enriched by experiential insights, resulting in a more comprehensive and contextual grounded understanding of sports participation among pathway students. The place of the study, it will locate into Region 11, Davao Region, including provinces Davao de Oro, Davao del Norte, del Sur, Oriental, Davao Occidental, and as a regional center, Davao City. The study sites will place into at least one HEI per province, and including public and private institutions that implements PATFIT as a CHED mandated course. Participants for this, it should be officially enrolled students that officially enrolled in PATFIT 1 to 4 and enrolled during the data collection semester. What is the contextual coverage for this? It includes urban HEIs, including example Davao City, and semi-urban and rural HEIs. Why? Because it ensures regional and contextual diversity, and it ensures also regional representative sample and avoids single city concentration, which can generate Region 11 as specific evidence for FATFIT improvements. For the participants, for quantitative phase, I have here the inclusion criteria. Sampling for this is purposive, at least 18 years old, sample size here, and the qualitative phase naman, purposive sampling, total participants, we use 7 for in-depth interview and 7 for focus interview. The selection strategy for qualitative phase will includes low, moderate, and high in physical health. It varies activity levels, diverse sports participation, and based on data saturation principle. What's the purpose for this? Why I choose these participants? Because it ensure statistical power for quantitative, and it ensure depth and contextual variation for qualitative. These are my research instruments. I have here three: physical health questionnaire by Schott, Calloway, and Desmarias, physical activity, international physical activity questionnaire by Craig et al., and the sports participation questionnaire by Mohammadi and Harani. Now, research instruments here, I have here on the qualitative strand, will use validated questionnaires, which will be validated by the panel of experts, expert validation of interview guide, audio recorded verbatim transcriptions, and what are the focus of this qualitative strand? Perceived physical health, physical activity habits, motivation and psychological influences, institutional contextual factors, and family support. What is the purpose for this? For quantitative, it measures predictive relationship, and for the qualitative, explains lived experiences behind patterns. These are the data collection process. It includes, for my timeline, I anticipated 3 months. It start with secure approvals from the dean, UIC Rec, and HEIs, and month two is survey and administration and recruitment. For month three, this is the IDI and FGD and transcription. So, quantitative strand face-to-face survey will be conducted. On qualitative strand naman, participants from the survey volunteers will be interviewed in two phases, IDI and FGD. So, ethical compliance with this, UIC Rec approval is needed. Data Privacy Act will be implemented, and voluntary participation and confidentiality ensured in the participants also. These are the data analysis, descriptive statistics, inferential statistics, and regression assumptions will be checked, and also the effect size. For qualitative strand, thematic analysis will be used, and trustworthiness measures. How do we integrate this one? On quantitative, it will determine predictions, and qualitative, it explains patterns. This will lead to a produce comprehensive interpretation. On the sequence, emphasis on mixing procedures, these are the procedures. What are the outcome of this? Triangulated evidence explanation of how physical health and physical activity will lead to sports participation. Now, on methodological issues and mitigation strategies, it includes research design complexity, time constraints, participants recruitment, data management and technical concerns, data saturation and integration, and overall approach also. The trustworthiness of the study include credibility, which includes used validated instruments, transferability, which includes detailed descriptions of participants, sampling procedures, dependability, it includes standardized data collection procedures, and confirmability, which includes secure storage of raw data. The overall assurance findings are credible, consistent, transferable, and grounded in authentic pathway students' experiences. Of course, this study will be guided by ethical considerations. It includes ethical approval and oversight, which includes submitted UIC Research Ethics Committee, and participants' right, which allows voluntary participation. Risk management will have the choice of participants may can skip questions or sessions conducted respectfully and confidentiality. And we have to adhere data privacy collection, RA 10173, or compliant with Data Privacy Act of 2012. And of course, the social value that supports students' health and sports engagement and provide evidence on P instructors, administrators, and policy makers. And I think that includes my presentation. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you so much, our panel of members.
Thank you so much, Sir J. Mar. At this point, may we invite our second presenter, Mr. Leonard John V. Carillo. A virtual round of applause, please.
Okay, good morning everyone. Allow me to share my screen. Sige, mag-timer po. See. Again, good morning everyone. And I hope everyone is safe, no? As a physical education teacher here in Caraga region for almost 6 years now, I have observed something concerning. No? Despite having many talented athletes, once they reach college, their enthusiasm for PE declines. No? This is not because they lack ability, but I think it's because of contextual challenges such as limited facilities, frequent gym unavailability, because our gym in the school is also used by outsiders, and also safety concerns in outdoor spaces and very abrupt schedule changes. So as a result, PE becomes less physical and sometimes more theoretical, with which affects students' enjoyment and engagement. So I have been fighting for physical education here in our place for almost 6 years now, and it's very challenging. And if we are going to look at the broader picture, this is not an isolated issue. So globally and nationally, studies show that students continue to develop declining or only moderately positive attitudes towards physical education despite curriculum reform. So we have the PATFIP ready, right? So negative attitudes are often linked to ineffective teaching practices and weak teacher-student relationships, because how can we create relationships with our students if we cannot conduct classes because of limited facilities, and not having to have classes because there are people who are going to use the gym in which we cannot have classes na dayon. However, negative attitudes are often linked to ineffective teaching practices and weak teacher-student relationships, and um, also their combined influence remains underexplored. So this leads to three major research gaps. We have first the limited context specific evidence on how teaching styles and teacher student relationships influence PE attitudes. um, in resource constrained Philippine settings, particularly in underserved regions like Caraga in our place. Second, most existing studies are conducted internationally, with very few focusing on college students in Philippine state universities, creating a lack of localized understanding. Third, and methodologically, previous research often examines teaching styles and teacher-student relationships separately using single method approaches, which is why mixed method studies are used to integrate both variable to provide deeper insight. Um, oh yeah, and because of these gaps, though we have three gaps, my study uses a convergent mixed methods designed to examine how teaching styles and teacher-student relationships jointly influence students' attitudes towards PE in Region 13. And the quantitative, yes, there will be four state universities. We have ASCAT, we have CSU, main campus, we have NEMSU, and the SDSSU. Now for the research questions. What are the teaching styles of the physical education teachers? How do students perceive the impact of different teaching styles on their attitudes towards PE? And what is the status of teacher-student relationship in Region 13? Fourth, how do students perceive the impact of teacher-student relationship on their attitude towards PE? And lastly, to what extent do the qualitative findings corroborate with the quantitative data? Next. So the here is the theoretical lens and the worldview. We will be using self-determination theory, or SDT, and the Lewis change management theory. For SDT, this will be anchored, which will explain that students' motivation and attitudes are influenced by fulfillment of the three basic psychological needs. We have autonomy, competence, and relatedness. And this theory will guide the study in understanding how the variables influence PE attitudes of the students. And lastly, we have the Lewis change management theory, which focuses on the three stages. We have unfreezing, changing, and refreezing. For unfreezing, this challenges existing beliefs. For changing, it is introducing new practices. And lastly, for refreezing, it stabilizes new behaviors. Next, we have the theoretical framework. You can see there the two substantive content theories. And for the inquiry worldview, we are going to apply the pragmatism. Only have 5 minutes left. For the variables, we have three. For the DV, we have PE attitudes. And for the IV, we have teaching styles and teacher-student relationships. For the research design, of course, we are going to apply the convergent mixed methods design, in which the data for both quanti and the quali will be collected and analyzed simultaneously, then merged during interpretation to determine areas of convergence and complementarity. And we will be using convergent designs because integrating both data sets will provide a comprehensive and contextually grounded understanding of how teaching styles and teacher-student relationships influence students' attitudes towards PE. So this is where I am from, or I will be conducting the study. So Cabadbaran City sits 1 hour before Butuan City and 10 to 11 hours going to Davao City. And for the research respondents, we will be having, for the quantitative strand, 349 college students enrolled in PE from state universities in Caraga region. And for the qualitative strand, we will have 17 students, 10 for the in-depth interviews, and 7 for the focus group discussion. 3 minutes. So here are the research instruments that I will be using. So I have adapted 3. We have the TSIHE, or the Teaching Styles Inventory for Higher Education by Abello et al. So this is specifically for higher education. Next, we also have the student version of the Teacher Student Relationships Inventory, or the STSRI by Ang et al. So you can also see here the EFA and the CFA of the research instrument. And lastly, we have the PEAS, or the Physical Education Attitude Scale for Adolescents by Ulrich et al. And sorry for this is not research instrument. These are the references that I used in my presentation. So I think that would be all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Sir Leonard. At this point, may we invite our third presenter, Mr. Harley Davidson A. Rodriguez. A virtual round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. I am now sharing my screen and the presentation. Is it now visible on your end?
Yes, Sir Harley. Yes po.
Am I audible enough, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone, and to our panelists. Allow me to present to you my dissertation concept entitled Attitude, Perception of Competence, and Satisfaction in Physical Education, a Convergent Design. As we all know, in the field of physical education, we face a lot of issues, particularly on our importance in the curriculum. There are a lot of students and even faculties and other sectors that questions our existence in the curriculum in education. Now, allow me to present to you the problematic issue in global. Although physical education is recognized as essential for holistic development, challenges in pedagogy and student satisfaction remain in the 21st century, according to Fernandez Roy Rio and Iglesias 2024. Studies in Turkey reveals issues in student participation, low participation, and satisfaction due to limited content, knowledge, and competence. And the research in Brazil and Spain confirms that perceived competence and positive attitudes predict satisfaction, according to Aniszewski 2019. Now, while innovative teaching strategies are being explored, many PE teachers still practice conventional approaches, limiting students' satisfaction. In fact, the study of Lobo and Di Malanta conducted in local colleges in Pampanga found that students are highly engaged when teachers prepares enjoyable and exciting activities and inculcate world-related values of physical education, wherein it increases students' participation, appreciation that leads to satisfaction. Now, for the practical knowledge gap, I have here, while international studies confirm that perceived competence and attitudes are predictors of student satisfaction in physical education, there is still a limited understanding of how these variables interact simultaneously in shaping satisfaction within actual classroom setting. In the Philippine context, research has focused more on teaching strategies and engagement rather than examining the combined influence of attitude and perceived competence as psychological determinants of satisfaction. There is still also limited evidence involving Filipino higher education students, especially in region-specific context, examining competence, attitude, and satisfaction in the field of physical education. And when it comes to methodological gap, most global studies examining competence, attitude, and satisfactions employ a cross-sectional qualitative designs, restricting the deeper understanding of students' lived experiences. So there is an insufficient of mixed method investigation that integrate quantitative relationship and qualitative experiences to comprehensively explain student satisfaction in PE. Now, for the purpose statement, the study seeks to investigate the influence of physical education, attitude, and perception of competence on the satisfaction of pathway students in Region 10. The use of a convergent mixed method design, wherein adapted survey questionnaires will be used in a quantitative phase and with in-depth interviews, IDI, and focus group discussion for the qualitative phase. So in the quantitative phase of the study, adapted questionnaires will be used to gather data from the officially enrolled student in PathFit courses within the Region 10. This is to determine the significant influence of attitude and perception of competence on the student satisfaction in physical education classes. Furthermore, in-depth interviews and focus group discussions will be conducted to generate rich data on students' insights, feedback, and lived experiences in terms of attitude, perception of competence, and satisfaction in physical education classes. Now, here are my research questions. Number one, what are the students' attitude and perception of competence in physical education classes? What is the student's level of satisfaction with the physical education classes? Do the attitude and competence significantly influence the pathway students' satisfaction in physical education classes? And what are the lived experiences of pathway students? How do these experiences refine the attitude and perception of competence to improve student overall satisfaction in physical education classes? And to what extent do the qualitative findings corroborate the quantitative data? So here are the theories that I utilize for the study: the self-determination theory, the expectancy value theory, and achievement goal theory. So allow me to proceed. This is now my theoretical framework. And I have here the variable of the study. Independent variable, I have here the attitude toward physical education. The independent variable two is the perception of competence, and the dependent variable is the satisfaction in physical education. Now, for the research design, I'll be using the convergent mixed method design, in which convergence and integration of quantitative and qualitative data will facilitate a more exhaustive and synergistic analysis of the data. This design is suited for this research because it allows the strength of both approaches to complement each other, wherein quantitative data provides a measurable trends and patterns, while qualitative data offers deeper insights into participants' experiences and perception. So next one, I have here the research locale. We have here, I'll be conducting the study in Region 10. Now there are institutions or universities that offers pathway courses. So um, the location and the schools itself are sufficient for my study. So approximately there will be 350 students enrolled in pathway courses from selected higher education institutions as my participants coming from the Central Mindanao University, from BUSU, from USTP, from the Community Polytechnic State University, colleges and NBSC. So cluster sampling will be used, for it is appropriate because it divides a large population into manageable groups. So knowing that this my um, geographical location of the schools are dispersed, it would be it reduces cost and time while improving efficiency according to SIMCOS 2022, and it addresses concerns related to expenditure, variability of the results, and large participant groups. Now, for the qualitative phase, there will be 6 students for in-depth interview, 8 students for focus group discussion, and participants will be selected using a purposive sampling. So a smaller group are easier to facilitate and create a more comfortable environment for sharing insight, according to Van and Anger, 2017. Okay, gender representation, male and female, will be ensured, and their participation also will be voluntary. I have here the research instrument for the attitude, development and validation of the physical education attitude scale for adolescents by Orly and group. I have also here the instrument for the perception of competence in middle school physical education, instrument development and validation by Scrabis, Fletcher, and Silvermans, 2010. And for the last one, I have here the validation and satisfaction questionnaire with physical education classes. This is for my dependent variable, which is the satisfaction in physical education. So I have here also the references, and that's all for my presentation. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sir Harley. At this point, may we invite our fourth presenter for this morning, Mr. Darrell L. Cabudol. A virtual round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. Allow me to present my screen. Good morning. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, but we have that audience window
I'm sorry.
button. Can you just um okay. Yan, it's okay na po, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes.
Good morning once again. My name is Darrell L. Caputol. I'm going to present now my dissertation concept entitled Perceived Coaching Behavior, Mental Skills Training, and Athletes' Motivation on Sports of Student Athletes of Association of Local Colleges and University Games, Region 10, a Convergent Study. As a former athlete since elementary to high school to college and currently now a coach in our institution, I do believe that coaching behavior is a contributing factor in students' motivation and participation. On the other hand, mental skills training is, I do believe, a skill most of the time left behind or set to aside and sometimes taken for granted. So these are the problematic issues I would like to link my study on. uh, Zhang and Mind 2025 carried the study on 638 adolescents from various sports, which integrates the role of low sports motivation in athlete burnout, providing the role of motivation in predicting negative consequences such as decrease in sports participation. Santander and Balhilder in 2024 mentioned that athletes' commitment to training was affected by motivation. They also point out the nuances of how dynamic the motivation of the athletes is. This emphasizes the need to further investigate how motivation impacts the training commitment of the athletes. More so, on the national level, Rosario 2023 discovered areas for improvement in coaching leadership styles among Metro Manila coaches, specifically in goal setting behavior and positive relationship. These results suggest that although technical coaching skill may be adequate, the psychological and motivational dimensions of coaching needs improvement. On the local part, coach-related motivational climates that are disempowering have been associated with increased motivation and antisocial behaviors among high school student athletes in Mindanao. This study was carried out by Jubalani et al. 2025 in Davao Region. More so in Davao Region as well, sports motivation among university athlete students varied and influenced engagement, indicating motivational challenges that impact students' participation and mental health in sports context. Lastly, youth athletes in Digit City demonstrated only moderate level of mental toughness and resilience, indicating the need for more structured mental skills training in athletes development program. On my research graph, understanding the effect of motivation towards enhancing their athletic performance and well-being could provide valuable insights for coaches and sports psychologists to further develop, strategize, and craft training activities for athletes. Understanding the correlation may help the body of knowledge in further enhancement of the coaching behavior, mental skills training, and motivation of student athletes. On my population gap, currently, there is no research publications, thesis, study published under the locality, specifically in the local colleges and universities in Region 10, and even in the national level. The lack of studies in terms of the locality and the population makes this study more interesting and relevant to contribute to the body of knowledge, specifically in Association of Local Colleges and Universities in Region 10. So there is a very little use of mixed method research designs that combine quantitative measures of perceived coaching behavior, mental skills training, and students' athlete motivation with qualitative data, thus limiting a more holistic and in-depth understanding of these interrelated phenomena. So my purpose statement is rather the purpose of this convergent mixed method study is to examine the relationship between perceived coaching behavior, mental skills training, and athletes' motivation among student athletes of Alco Games Region 10, and to integrate quantitative and qualitative findings to provide a comprehensive understanding of these relationships. So these are my research questions. First, what is the level of perceived coaching behavior coaches of mental skills training and motivation of student athletes of Region 10 Alco Olympics? Uh, Fourth is what are the live experiences of student athletes of Alco Region 10? Fifth, how do these experiences hone their whole being as a student athlete, specifically in terms of perceived coaching behavior, mental skills, training, and motivation? And lastly, to what extent do the qualitative findings corroborate and explain further the quantitative data? For my theoretical lens and worldview, this will be anchored to Pragmatism by Creswell and Plano Clark in 2018 and Self-Determination Theory by Desir and Ryan in 2000. This is my theoretical framework, and allow me to present my variables of the study. For the quantitative, I have two independent variables, which are the perceived coaching behavior and the mental skills training. For my dependent variable, I have my students' athletes' motivation. For my methodology, my research design is under convergent design. I will be using mixed methods on qualitative and quantitative. This is very appropriate for this study because the study will explore and examine the relationship of perceived coaching behavior, mental skills training, and students athletes to the motivation of student athletes. This study will also explore and understand the level of, the lived experiences of student athletes in terms of their motivation. In convergent, in converging the quantitative and qualitative data, it will be done by comparing and integrating the findings from both approaches to look for areas of convergence, complementarity, or discrepancy. Next, my local. This will be conducted in all 12 participating local colleges and universities in the annual ALCO Athletic Games of Region 10. The ALCO 10 Athletic Games is a regional multi-sports event that gathers student athletes from various colleges and universities, local colleges specifically and universities within Region 10 or Northern Mindanao, to compete in a range of sports and cultural events. The local of the Northern Mindanao is shown in figure. Okay. For my research respondents, I will be using random sampling. For the quantitative phase, it will be 1,600 student athletes in the 12 participating local colleges and university, and using Grausoff sample size calculator, I will be arriving with 310 student athletes for my sample size. This is my research instrument for perceived coaching behavior, entitled The Polish Adaptation of Leadership Skill for Sports, a questionnaire examining coaching behavior with its Cronbach alpha and its indicators. My second research instrument is the Sports Mental Training Questionnaire, Development and Validation by Banke et al. In 2017. This also indicates the Cronbach alpha and the indicators of my instruments. And my last instrument would be the Factor Structure Structure and Reliability of the Student Athlete's Motivation Towards Sports and Academics Questionnaire, or SAMSAC, by Gales 2025 for my students athletes motivation. Here are also the Cronbach alpha, the EFA, and the items for my third variables. These are my references for my study. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Sir Daryl Alcabudol. At this point, we now give the floor to our distinguished panel members. May we invite our panel members to share now their comments, suggestions, and insights to our presenters, specifically to Mr. Reponte, Mr. Carillo, Mr. Rodriguez, and Mr. Cabudol.
Hello, ako na mauna, Sir Eric.
Doc, ikaw na lang po, Doc.
Sige, forgive me, I cannot open my cam, ha. I'm a mobile person this time. So, please bear with me.
It's okay.
Okay, yeah. Congratulations in advance. No, this is actually a manifestation of your determination. No? Kanina nga sabi ng speaker, ni Doc Dan, this is actually something na you want, no, you want to achieve, and then contributing to the field. We contribute to the field. Hence, you are pursuing doctorate degree because you want to contribute to the body of knowledge. You want to produce new knowledge in the field so that we can use it to advance the physical education in the Philippines specifically. So my congratulations to everyone. Okay, so the panel members are devil's advocates. Okay? We are here to confuse you, to to challenge you, but all these things are for your paper to be improved, no? So that when you present this anywhere around the world, you can say that this is mine. Okay, I worked for it and this is new. And I have confidence. I have confidence that this has a contribution to the body of knowledge. Hindi recycled lang na knowledge. Okay? So, magde-devil's advocate kami ngayon. Okay, I'll start with Sir Pontes, Raymart. Kumusta ang yoga na to, sir? Sige. So, ang akong question kay Sir Reponte is that, what's new about this study, sir? This is about, this is practically to everyone, no? Itong pinaka-question talaga sa lahat. Anong bago sa study ninyo? Anong bagong kaalaman ang maproduce? Baka ang kaalaman, ang knowledge na maproduce ninyo is alam na, no? Well-studied na siya. Ang dami-dami ng pinag-aralan about this. So, this is for all, no? Isa sa mga questions yan na pag-isipan din yan, ano bang bago ito? And for you to find out what's new, then gamitin yung mga resources natin. There's a lot of resources that we have. We even have AI, generative AI. We have a lot of resources in the library. UIC subscribe a lot of dissertations. The World Dissertation Library is a dissertation gathered around the world. You will get ideas there. E-books, no, ang dami-dami. So, I hope you're not going to limit yourself with what you have there. No, spread your wings and search. Ganun yun. Huwag kayong magkontento sa kung anong madali, ano ang convenient, because that's not at all growth. No, it's not growth, mind you. Kung talagang sa convenience lang kayo mag-ano. So, yun ang question ko, ha. Sa lahat ng mga later, yun ang i-defend niyo. Anong bago dito? Bakit kailangan pag-aralan ito? So, yun ang question ko kay Sir Reponte. Sige, sir, I'll give you a chance to explain yourself. Go, sir.
Hi, good morning, Doc. For my study, Doc, I want to see to it na there is ano kasi, Doc, limited evidence on examining whether in the Philippine-based context, Doc, whether ang physical health and physical activity engagement will have its predictive relationship or impact on the sports participation, particularly in PatFit context. Doc. As we all know,
Mhm.
ga-offer ang colleges and state universities po on PatFit 1 to 4, and ang 3 to 4, Doc, is a courses of menu na pwede mo pili ang students whether they
Yeah,
go
yeah.
to track or in dance. But as per observation, little number of students lang po, Doc, ang gaano sa sports participation. So, I want to see to it na kaning inconsistency of sports participation among PATFIT students despite nga na
Mhm.
ay curricular implementation.
Okay, I get it, no? Physical health, sige, pagbigyan kita niyan. Physical health, ano yun? Sa to isa? Physical health
Uh,
and engagement.
Physical
Yan sabi
activity.
mo. Physical activity engagement, and yung isa, physical health.
Yes
Tama?
po.
Physical health. But in the context of PatFit, I think hindi mo talaga siya ma-expect that they will participate in sports because the menu is, ang first year nila, hindi naman sports. Second year lang naman sila magsa-sports. Depende pag yun. Depende pag yun
Yeah.
kung na-expertise ang teacher. Kasi you're putting PatFit students kasi as the context. Tapos, added with that is, when you say sports, 'di ba, ang daming kategory niyan, may individual, sa individual may combative, may 'di ba? Tapos may sport, may dual, may team sports. Tapos may facilities na involved. So kung imo i-examine ang imuhang site, are these facilities available for students, no? So klaro na gyud kaayo nga dili gyud enhance ang ilang sports participation. Tama?
Yes po.
So, nganong moimbestiga pa man ta Na klaro naman di ay gyud na dili gyud sila maka-participate. Ana good sir. Given the walang facility, ang equipment niya, tapos usahay mo African sports, mahal pag yun, kaya na yung mga membership na ay mga palito na ano, so di na lang ko participate. So, kamo man gina siya nga, dili gid sa ka-participate. So, ngano ato ko man siyang i-research, why not look into paano natin sila mapa-participate, no? Kasi kung sports, kasi survey lang ito itong study mo talagang self-report pag yun. So there are always biases, no? Kasi self-report siya. So parang ganun ang nakikita ko, sir. Parang yun ang isa sa mga ilibugon ako sa imuha, no? Kanang parang it calls for a lot of siguro kanang reflection or reading. Is this really worth my time? Alam naman natin na dili gid sila ka-participate, no? Tapos ang dilemma pag ani sir, usually sa observation ako, pagbalik sa survey, 5 tanan. So para bang hindi mo talaga nakuha yung ano, sa quali ka na lang ang bawi. So, ano siya survey mark na I leave that ano sa imo nga, you don't have to defend yourself. But kasi ano man siya, dili man ta kanang court dili no, iiwan ko lang yung challenge sa iyo na ganyan ang nakikita ko, no? Unless you want to venture to other method, specifically, kasi alam natin na problema talaga yung sports participation nila, ay nakikita ko is why not mag-grounded theory ka, no? Kasi talagang makukuha mo yung in-depth talaga yung investigation mo. And then with that, share mo na, tayo naman pala talaga hindi, kasi ganito nangyari. So that's just, anong ideation, sir, but I leave that to you to decide because ikaw naman din ang mag-master at. So yun ang sa akin for Sir Reponte. I leave other comments to
Thank you po, Doc.
Thank you po, Doc Ferry. May we call in Doc Eric?
Okay. Maayong buntag.
May
Good
buntag.
morning. Good morning, Sir Jmar. Okay.
Ano po, Doc?
While I was reading your paper last night, I actually personally skipped your paper, no, and jump into the second presenter. Why? Because medyo ano siya, sir. Napansin ko kasi that you really have to establish enough literature review on the relationship between the variables that you have included in your study. The intention was really good, no? Because you really wanted to know kung paano ba nakakaapekto ang physical health sa sports participation ng ating mga estudyante. That's very good. No, it's true kasi kung if there are some studies kasi if they are not physically well, of course they are not into sports participation. However, mas maraming mga studies, sir, na nagsasabi na ang reason bakit mababa yung sports participation nila, it's because of yung physical activity engagement intentions nila, right? Okay? So, kaya you have your second variable, which is the physical activity engagement. I have the same comment with Dr. Poralan. The question is it really necessary to explore sports participation in the context of the path fit students? We all know na hindi naman lahat ay into sports. In fact, ako personally, I'm not into sports, but I've been doing some, in some mga ano lang, panagsa lang kaayo, no, okay, ano lang, occasionally I do some active lifestyle na mga activities, no, walking, running, etc. Pero dili na siya permente. So not everyone are inclined into sports participation, especially the path fit students, considering ang path fit has different, 'di ba, na mga tawag dyan, part of the curriculum, iba-iba ang kaniyang concentration. Meron tayong dance, meron tayong mga movement activities, and even the sports. So not everyone are really into sports. Kaya yan yung point ni Dr. Alan kanina, bakit kailangan pa natin i-explore considering na alam naman natin na not all are inclined into doing or participating in sports. So, tapos napansin ko rin, sir, yung source ng questionnaire mo on physical health are all um, in the negative statements. Kasi your questionnaire is about the somatic symptoms, right? Napansin mo, sir, yung physical health questionnaire mo is on somatic symptoms. So you would observe that if you will conduct this survey, students would probably assess or rate their experiences in terms of the problems reflected in your questionnaire, mga health related problems such as gastrointestinal problem, headache, sleep disturbance, respiratory infection. So these are all kanang mura siyang self-perceived, no? Parang nagiging sila ay nagiging doktor ng sarili nilang 'di ba? I believe they can assess themselves, no? But ang observation ko, lahat ng mga items doon are all related to somatic symptoms. Okay? Another observation sa source ng questionnaire mo, sir, is on physical activity na questionnaire. Yung physical activity questionnaire mo, sir, is not in a the original source is not in a five Likert scale or in a Likert scale form. It is actually in a test type, sir, no? It's an assessment type.
Yes.
Okay. So I am actually expecting that you can be able to look for a questionnaire in a 5 Likert scale. No. Really a result of maybe an FA or CFA study, na published study on physical activity engagement. And I also have commented in your paper, sir, that especially in your introduction, you can see that in your manuscript, the manuscript mo really lacks sufficient empirical or theoretical support about the direct link between the physical health and sports participation and physical activity and sports participation. So part of the introduction kasi is that you have to cite mga prior studies that really, explicitly demonstrate how these two independent variables would translate into increased participation in whether it's organized or recreational sports, 'di ba? May iba-iba, may mga competitive sports nga, 'di ba? Okay? So also in your RRL, so medyo nakulangan ako. Kasi I've tried to read it para ma-convince ako kung pwede ba talaga nating i-pursue ang study na ito, looking into the relationship between these three variables, and proceed to a mixed method type of study. Kanina nag-suggest si Dr. Alan about the use of grounded theory, probably exploring on sports participation. But you have to also think anong aspect ng sports participation mo ang gawan mo ng theory. Are you going to look into kasi I've paneled a certain study on grounded theory, yung advice ni Doc Dan on wellness, no, the contribution of sustained physical or fitness engagement doon sa overall or wellness na domains ng isang tao. And doon ko nakita na meron palang mga integrators and disintegrators. Okay? So ibig sabihin ng mga integrators, what are the factors that contribute to their sustained fitness engagement? Bakit sila laging nagpupunta ng gym? At ano yung mga disintegrators, no? So I encourage you to read that paper if it will be published soon. Kasi pwede mo yan siyang i-connect sa sports participation. And you try to consider yung mga athletes natin. Bakit sila nag-sustain at bakit hindi sila nag-sustain into becoming an athlete? Right? So you can probably create a theory on that. Now, what are the integrators and disintegrators that contribute to participation or sustained participation in sports. No? So pwede kang mag-explore on that, sir. So I'm challenging you. Anyway, your teacher here, si Sir Dan, Doc Dan is here, who have been one of the pioneers, no, in doing grounded theory in PE, PhD PE, and meron tayong mga expert naman sa grounded theory. So you may explore. And the challenging part is that you really have to read a lot of literature, no, mga existing theories that explain about sports participation, because you have to compare that, no? You have to compare all existing theories explaining sports participation to your theory na magawa mo. Kasi kung mag-focus ka sa mga athletes, mas ano siya, sir, mas purposive siya. Kasi yung path fit students, hindi lahat into sports. They are just there to comply with the requirement of PE. Right? Diba? In reality, no? Musayaw ko, sige, musayaw na lang ko, no? Maapil ko sports, sige, mo sports na lang ko. That could be the reality, because everyone are not really into physical activity engagement. So probably mas purposive ka kung maghanap ka ng participants that are into sports participation. Okay? So pag-aralan mo yan siya, sir, kung ano ba, kung are you going to focus on one competitive sports, recreational sports, or varied types of sports. 'Di ba? Like ako, I'm into, I don't know kung sports na ba ang pickleball, no? I don't know if it's a sports. Sports na ba siya? No? Yeah, sports na siya kasi I guess it started in US, I guess. Then kung nung sumali ako ng parang ano namin, it's not really in organized competition dito sa Digos, parang hindi man ako nag-sustain. No, hindi ako nag-sustain, no, because really, I'm not into really sports competition. Pero kung yung mga athletes talaga na sumasali sa mga competition, probably they can really explain bakit sila nag-sustain in terms of sports participation. So actually kanina I was thinking of mag-exploratory factor analysis ka, maggawa ka ng questionnaire about active lifestyle behavior ng mga college students. Pero yung active lifestyle behavior kasi usually includes walking, running, etc. So they can just probably describe that. So medyo hindi siya masyadong malaman kung pag-aaralan mo siya. Pero yung nagsuggest si Dr. Alan to explore on sports participation using a grounded theory, that is also a good idea kasi mas in-depth siya, sir. Mas malaman siya kung pag-aaralan mo siya. So yun lang ang comment ko kay Sir J. Riponte.
Thank you po, Doc.
Thank you so much, Doc Eric.
Mag-grounded theory na ni siya. Mag-grounded theory na si J-Mar. Go, sir!
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to congratulate the first batch of presenters, and I'll be in another perspective because as what I have observed, you wanted to do correlation, but I agree that there are already literatures to support the relationships in this variable. We cannot really argue in a quantitative research that it is different in our locale because we don't have this, we don't have the facilities. Because when we talk about quantitative research, the primary principle is that it can be generalized. The findings can be generalized. So that would mean that the association, we can conclude that they are really associated. And if the problem is sports participation, into what extent that you wanted to investigate about sports participation, because these are PATFIT students, there is already in the curriculum, in the courses, when we talk about sports. So that is why whether they like it or not, they have to really participate. I think you will be more focused on PatFit in general. But always remember, if they are in that particular subject, enrolling the sports in the subject of PatFit, they are really obliged to participate. Now, in the correlation part, minsan ang napapansin ko, we are limiting the variables of our study. Meaning, we are just looking into, in the literature, those previously correlated variables like physical activity and sports participation, physical health and sports participation. And it's very clear in the literature that they are really associated. That is why you find it difficult to establish the research gap. Kasi when I look at your introduction, you have difficulty in highlighting the niche of your study, what makes your study different and unique as compared to the previous studies. It is because you limit the variables that will be involved to explain sports participation. Usually, yun ang certain weaknesses of doing correlational study, because a lot of studies already conducted that links variables. Now, but ang ginagawa is that only 2 predictors ang pinipili. In fact, in the majority, makikita ko in the presentation, 2 ay independent variable at 1 dependent variable. So that would mean that we cannot really explain a certain phenomenon or a certain variable if we just limit to 2 predictors or 2 factors that are already evidently associated with the dependent variable. For example, the sports participation. So that is why there should be a thorough literature review that how sports participation occur. Kasi explore. Kasi when talk about exploring the predictive, parang wala pang relationship. But in reality, in your RRL, ang dami ng relationships about these variables involved. So there could be other factors aside from physical health, but I'm not saying you will remove physical health and physical activity, but there could be other factors predicting physical health, physical activity that leads to the sports participation. So we are talking here about interrelationships. Okay, we are talking about what could be the best relationship of multiple variables that could associate with sports participation to develop a model that really fit to the kind of scenario or environment that you are in. Kasi nga, you have difficulty. Kasi kung gusto mo talagang establish na iba yung local namin, then you have to develop a best fit model of sports participation in your local. Yung sinabi ko kanina, relationship can be generalized, and that is evident in your literature. But if you want to find what is the best fit model of sports participation in my local, then you have to go higher. Kaya nga, I want you to explore more other variables that will be involved in these relationship patterns to establish the model to predict sports participation. And that you can say that this is fit to the locale of my study. Okay, so yeah, I agree with the grounded theory because you wanted to develop how it actually, why this sports participation theory, in which there is already an established theory, but there could be certain other explanatory theories that can explain phenomenon that will fit your locale. But in the quantitative perspective, kung gusto mong quantitative, you have to develop the best fit model for your local, and that should involve multiple variables other than being very conservative on utilizing only two variables, because in reality, life is not only a direct relationship. Life is, there are indirect and direct relationship. Just like a food chain, there is an interrelationship patterns. And we don't want to be conservative on that, because this is this dissertation, and we want to provide additional knowledge or practical information that can have social value to help address issues when it comes to sports participation. Okay, so those are my comments for your research.
Thank you po, Doc.
Yeah. So tatlo ngayon ang pagpipilian. Grounded theory, exploratory, and SEM. No? So okay lang yan siya, Sir Jmar.
That's what, Doc.
Thank you po, our panel members. How about for Sir
Tama di ay. Sir Carillo.
For Sir Leonard po. For Sir Carillo.
Sige. Sige. Sir Eric, would you like to start with Sir Carillo?
Okay, Doc. For Sir Carillo, sir, good morning.
Morning, Doc.
Good morning. I guess I'll be, of course, posting my comment. No? This is about my perspective. No, if you will stick with your proposal using the three variables and proceed to convergent parallel mix method. Ang napansin ko po, sir, one important thing that you have to consider in the study is yung potential conceptual overlap. Meron kasing conceptual overlap na nangyayari, na posibleng mangyayari between your independent variables, which are teaching styles and teacher-student relationship. Why? Because as I check your source of questionnaire for the teaching style, one of the indicators of it is teacher-student interaction. You can see that in page 153 of the source of your questionnaire. Now, yung indicator ng teaching style, which is the first indicator, which is teacher-student interaction, is conceptually, or it resembles with your IV2, which is teacher-student relationship, right? So here, the inclusion of your teacher-to-student interaction as an indicator of your teaching style, which is your IV1, while simultaneously measuring your teacher-student relationship, which is your IV2, would likely result to, multicollinearity. No? Pinag-uusapan natin yan sa quanti, no? Yung multicollinearity during the regression or even sa mga predictive na analysis. So, I suggest that you may try to look for another source of questionnaire related to teaching style. But maybe if you would consider may naano man ako na questionnaire which is really related to PE. Ang title ng questionnaire is Need Supportive Teaching Style. So it's more on need supportive. Okay, need supportive teaching style. So if you will consider that, so pwede siyang specify mo na lang na need supportive teaching style siya at may tatlong indicator siya. One indicator, I guess, is structure. I forgot the other one. You may open the source of the questionnaire na ginilagay ko dyan sa papel mo. So may three indicators siya. Just to avoid yung possible multicollinearity kasi pareho yung indicator 1 mo ng teaching style with the teacher-student relationship. Though magkaiba yung mga items, but there are items there in the teaching style, the teacher-student interaction na it resembles actually with the concept of your IV2, which is teacher-student relationship. So, yun lang ang comment ko, sir. And of course, you have to make sure, sir, that you have, gaya na sinabi ni Doc Felix kanina, ma-establish mo talaga, you will have enough literature, inventory, sir. You have to provide inventory of studies, empirical studies and theoretical na mga perspectives on the link between teaching style and teaching style and PE attitudes or physical education attitude, as well as the teacher-student relationship and physical education attitudes or PE attitude. And another thing is, this is a reminder to everyone, na dili lang sa mga sir pa hindi ko na makalimutan. This is true to all. Kaya nang sa paper kanina si Reponte and even sa imuha sir, nagra-random checking kasi ako. Okay? I do random checking of the sources, especially in your literature part. So, I always advise everyone to carefully check the accuracy and authenticity of all the cited references. Kasi some sources are difficult to locate, therefore they are not traceable. So kasi pag magbabasa ako ng mga papers ninyo, yung author, hinahanap ko yan sa list of references ninyo, wala naman. O so baka nakalimutan siyang ilagay. Tapos, if nandyan naman siya sa list of references, ang problema naman is that some cited articles do not appear to support the claims that you've made in the manuscript. If we're going to check the PDF file, the actual PDF file of that source that you have cited, the content you have in your paragraph, in your paper, the content does not match or support the statements that you can read in the actual paper of the PDF file. So I encourage every author to really review the full text or the PDF version of all the references to ensure the correctness of the content. The source is traceable, but the content is not really swak, no, based doon sa na mababasa mo sa PDF file. Kasi sometimes yung halimbawa gagamit tayo ng AI, no? You try to establish the link between your two independent variables and your dependent variable. Of course, ang ibibigay sometimes ni AI is the AI would really feed your wants, diba? Sasabihin talaga ni AI, okay, attitude really correlates or has an effect on PE attitude, or physical health has an effect on sports participation. Yun yung sabi dyan sa paragraph with an author. But when you read the paper of the actual PDF file of that source of questionnaire, wala kang mababasa na concept na ganun, right? So therefore, sometimes you have to avoid the hallucination. You have to consider, no, avoid hallucinations of AI. Yung mga hallucinations nila, they don't just hallucinate the APA reference, no, I mean the list of the reference itself, no, the citation, the reference citation, but at mostly mas worse kung gihallucinate niya ang content mismo. Okay? Para lang, kasi minsan para lang ma-feed yung gusto natin na ma-establish yung relationship. So this is not just for Sir Carillo and the rest of the and Sir Reponte na nag-first present kanina. This is true to all, especially katong tanan na mga magbuhat o quantitative research using correlational approach, no? And even qualitative approach. Okay? So yun lang ang comment ko. So going back to Sir Carillo, yun yung lang suggestion ko, sir, na baka mag-result siya into multicollinearity kasi magkapareho yung isang indicator ng IV1 mo with your IV2, which is teacher-student relationship. Okay?
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doc Eric. Doc Ferry, can we have Doc Ferry?
Yep. Okay. Kay Sir Felix, I have the same impression with this concept to Sir Remark, no? PE attitude. Or kada tuig na PE attitude. But I would like to challenge you really to kumbaga patunayan mo talaga na hindi ito well studied globally, no? Meron kang well, of course sa locality ninyo, but ang i-challenge ko sa iyo, sir, is ang imong mga questionnaires, like what Dr. Baluran said, kasi teaching styles kasi yung iyong questionnaire. Remember, iba ba yung orientation ng teaching styles natin? No? Kasi ano tayo, lahi ang ato ang ataka sa ato ang teaching styles. Baka ang instruments mo ay pang classroom. Okay, so isa yan siya. Tapos pangalawa yung well, first yung sinabi ni Doc Baloran na merong multicollinearity, you're measuring the same, no? Independent, dependent variable, nandoon ang dalawang idea, so hindi pwede yun. Okay? Ang isa sa mga possibility na i-challenge ko sa iyo is that, by the way, why convergent? What makes convergent study the most appropriate method sa ano mo, sa research mo?
Ano, Doc, aside from the fact na, madingog ko, Doc?
Yes, you can.
Kuan, Doc, during the time with Doc Salva, it was the most appropriate method that I can use using the variables that I have. Kay I thought na using convergent design, it will allow kana bitong both my quantity and quality variables to be syempre collected man siya simultaneously, but sa karon, Doc, mo nag-change siya, Doc, because
Nag-change nga because of what you have
yeah,
heard.
yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
kasi kung interesado ka talaga sa mag-understand ng PE attitude, which I think very important din sa ano natin, sa mga estudyante, kasi nga, dwindling, no? Paano ba na-form ang attitude? There are a lot of theories, no? It can be behavioral, no? It can be ABC, no? Affective, behavioral, and cognitive. Mga ganyan siya. Ang aking masuggest siguro, sir, mas ano, explanatory sa'yo.
Okay.
Kasi meron ka munang quantity, and then you found out that in your attitude, may mga ganitong salient points. And then you can explore or you can investigate further. Yun ang isa sa mga possibility. You can also like what we discuss kanina with Sir Ponde, you can also, hindi naman ang attitude isang dalawang variable, hindi lang naman outside, hindi lang naman teacher, no? Attitude can also be formed with internal disposition, ganyan. Kasi ang tinignan mo kasi outside lang, hindi yung sa internal part. So, there are theories that how to form attitude. Explore mo yun siya, sir. You can actually ask the question, what forms an attitude? Then from there, decide what other variables that are kumbaga possible na maka-improve or sustain sa attitude sa PE. Yun ang ano ko sa study mo, no? Of course, ang manuscript nimo dili pa gyud siya kay polish, sir. No, I'm expecting na dili pa kay coherent doon sa dapat mong nandoon. Okay? And I believe that attitude to physical education is important. However, globally, this is also very well-studied construct. Pero iba kasi ang ating sitwasyon sa Pilipinas. No? Iba ang sitwasyon natin. Sa other country kasi, ang PE instructions nila are well-equipped. Sa Pilipinas, maluoy ka. So, I mean, daghan kayo tag pwede, no? Daghan, I mean, possible siya na imong imbestigahan. Kaya lang, yung mga variables na ginamit mo, para hindi sufficient, no? At saka yung may problema ka pa sa instruments. So, isa yan siya, no? One possibility is for explanatory. You get muna the quali part. No? Actually, madaming possibilities sa study mo. Pwede kang mag-SEM, no? Pwede kang mag-SEM kasi hanapin mo yung ano talaga nakapag-form ng attitude. Pwede kang mag-explanatory. Pwede ka ding mag-explore. I mean, depende sa'yo talaga kung gaano mo maintindihan yung rigor ng method. Kasi importante, sir, once you choose a method, kailangan method expert ka. You know the rigors of that method. No? Handa ka na ba, sir? So, we give you a chance to choose, no? Concept presentation pa naman ito. No? So, para yung effort mo, worth it talaga. Nandyan ka na, required ng school, gawin na natin talagang super bongga. Huwag nang just because gusto lang makomply. No, di ba, Sir John? Ay, Sir Leonard, sorry. Leonard John, tama din ako. So,
Yes,
ganon.
Doc.
Challenge ko kayo. Yun lang talaga eh. No, hindi kami magsisettle for less. We want the best from you. Okay? So,
Thank
ano
you,
ko
Doc.
din, 100 support din ako sa sinabi ni Doc Eric ha, ng mga literature ninyo, yung mga citations ninyo. My God, ang dami-daming pwedeng gamiting software para lang talaga ma-verify yung mga pinagsasabi nyo sa literature ninyo. Hindi copy-paste, and all. Bahala lang, basta lang mapuno lang ang section. That is not ethical. And that's not also supporting the rigor of the method. Okay? Sige. But congratulations, Sir Leonard, no? You are there na, halfway na, no? Pagtapay half.
Thank you, Doc.
Sige, yun lang po.
Okay. So, so this is my suggestion because actually attitude is not really the main outcome because an attitude can be an antecedent to another outcome, which is a behavior such as yung kanina, like physical activity, engagement, like anong tawag dyan, physical health, for example. So that's an outcome. So this is what I mean. We limit only variables, but we want to explain why an outcome happened, why a behavior happened. Because attitude, teaching style can be a predictor of PE attitude. But attitude is also a predictor of another outcome. So if we want to solve a problem, we need to solve not only the end goal, the end point, okay? So we have to solve the end point rather than limiting only to a certain outcome in which that outcome is a predictor of another outcome. So kumbaga, kung mag-solve ka, patagi-tagi lang. So we have to solve everything. And if you want to solve everything, you have to look at in the literature, ano talaga main outcome? Which PE attitude is a predictor of health. For example, tingnan mo kung ano yung BMI nila, for example. So that's a main outcome. Kung ang dami na ngayon ng mga obese or something na abnormal health profile, so that's a problem. And that's a problem in the Philippines. Kaya nga, nagkaroon tayo ng mga PAT-FIT courses in order to solve that kind of problem. But attitude is just a predictor of a problem. But attitude may be a problem, but we want to study a certain, we have to conduct a study that will really point out to the main outcome. So what I mean is that you have to consider reading again additional literatures to target the main outcome. And I agree that teaching styles and teacher-student relationship may have commonality. Yan yung collinearity. They might be measuring the same or they might measure in one indicator or subscale with the same category. So that can be very important in statistical analysis because that's an issue that we have to resolve. Now, meron akong narinig kanina kay Dr. Puralan about iba yung teaching styles in PE. Okay? And when I look at the literature, there's no scale that is available. Kasi teaching styles, majority of the teaching styles questionnaire scale are actually generic in nature. So usually it's more on classroom teaching style. But in the absence of teaching styles in physical education scale, with no tool that is available, most likely, why not develop, that is a problem kasi we are utilizing variables that are not fit to the kind of respondents or the kind of investigation that we want. So another suggestion is to develop a tool on teaching styles in physical education scale, and you can utilize the exploratory sequential design on that, and that will be a good output for a dissertation. So that's my suggestion for your study.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. Yes, Sir Leonard, you may explore on that, no? Kasi konti
Super
lang
agree.
talaga ang teaching style. Oo.
Super agree kasi unique din talaga teaching styles ng PE. Hindi tayo kagaya ng classroom. 'Di ba? So, that's it. No? O nag-agree kaming tatlo. So, good luck, sir. Leonard. Leonard
Thank you,
John.
boss. Thank you so
So,
much.
so teaching TSPES, Teaching Styles in Physical Education Scale. O, di ba, bongga? Yun na. Yun na, pag-aralan mo na yung exploratory. Yun na yun.
So much.
Go.
I feel relieved.
Sige. Ano daw?
Thank you,
I
panel
feel really
members. Ah,
Okay, okay.
Can we proceed now to the comments for Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, Sir Felix, ikaw muna, sir. Ay, Doki.
Okay. Okay, so the next is most likely the same study. I mean, when it comes to the design, so attitude, perception of competence, and satisfaction in physical education. So these are generic variables. I can see that these are mostly studied these variables are commonly studied in the literature, and you wanted to correlate again. Always remember that there is really a strong link between attitude and satisfaction, and competence and satisfaction. Although satisfaction is an end outcome, I understand satisfaction. If you are satisfied, that's an end outcome. So, but I would like to suggest to make it more specific. What kind of attitude? Okay, what kind of competence? Kasi these are generic variables. Is it an attitude towards physical education? But always remember, attitude, okay, may have another predictor variable. Okay, meaning what predicts attitude? If you want to really do correlation, you have to really have a thorough review of related literature. Is there any antecedents of attitude? Are there any antecedents of competence? And are these antecedents having direct or indirect effect with the satisfaction in physical education? What satisfaction is this? Is this satisfaction in the teaching styles? There are a lot of satisfaction. Okay, what I mean is that when you conduct a research, you have to create your own niche. You have to be very specific because satisfaction may be very generic. Is it in the course alone, or satisfaction when it comes to teaching, or satisfaction when it comes to the performance so there are really lots of what we call as things that you can improve further to make these variables very specific. And I'd like that you can incorporate, okay, other factors, other variables that you might not include. I know that you have read literatures, pero hindi mo siguro in-include lahat kasi nakafocus ka lang sa attitude at saka competence kasi meron kang available questionnaire. Kasi yun lang naman ang always mindset kasi dapat may available questionnaire on that or things. Pero nawawala na yung theoretical underpinnings. Kasi the theory will explain the relationship between the variable. Okay? And that in fact, as a matter of fact, satisfaction may not be an end outcome. If you are satisfied, what will be your behavior? Okay, so are you doing performing better in your physical health? That is an end behavior also. So what I mean is that you can explore more variables, okay? And you have to be very specific on the variables that you will be selecting because at the end of the day, magkakaroon ito ng loopholes, especially in addressing the issue that you wanted to address. Okay? So, kumbaga, ang suggestion ko nito, maybe you might think it's just generic, but hindi ito generic. I want you to specify further what do you want, what satisfaction, what competence, and what attitude. And at the same time also, what are the other variables that you wanted to include to predict satisfaction in physical education? Okay. So that's my comment, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chavez.
Okay. My take on this is that the same idea, no? What makes someone satisfied? What makes a student feel the satisfaction in PE? As you observe, sir.
I am looking into their competence, ma'am. Like, for example, they can do such skill, they can perform this one, and so on. They can
Yeah, so,
perform better,
ah,
like that po, ma'am.
Okay. Pero, ang competence na sinasabi mo dito, anong competence? Sa sports nila? Sports skills?
Hindi siya naka-specific, ma'am. Like,
Yun na
in
nga,
general
yun na
po,
nga.
yes po, ma'am. Yes,
Yun na
ma'am.
nga sabi ni Doc Felix. Kasi nga, you are specifying satisfaction in physical education. Kaya tinatanong ko sa'yo, what makes a student satisfied in PE? By answering that question, you may discover variables. No, you may discover something na worth investigating na siya ang makatulong na masustain nila ang satisfaction sa PE. No, kasi kung sinabi mong competence, ang dami-daming pwedeng mangyari. For example, anong competence specifically for PE? Saan competence? In their motor skills, in their fitness engagement, in their participation in class. So, ano siya, sir, no? There's a need for you to really get into the bottom of what makes a student in PE satisfied, and somehow I hope it can help you. It can help you look for more specific variables that pang PE talaga siya. Huwag mong kasi we're always claiming unique ang PE, iba ang PE, tapos generic ang gihapon na tong gamiton na instrument. So, wala ta na consistent sa atong claim. So, if you want to investigate how we can satisfy our physical education teachers that they will engage or perhaps perform well or form the habit of physical activity, kasi yun naman ang ultimate goal natin, that our students will create or build the habit of physical activity. So, ano pa siya, sir? Napaka sa tip of the iceberg in your investigation. So, I think you need to dig deeper pa. No? Dig deeper pa para maintindihan mo. If you want to focus on satisfaction, then I think you really need to read a lot of materials, no? Confirm statements or cross-reference statements para ang papel mo is really is worth ba. Hindi lang siya for completion or for complying. It's really is new knowledge na ma-produce mo. This is a good one, no? I still think that this is a good one, provided that you will be able to specify competence and their attitude. At saka, mapatunayan mo talaga na ito, mga factors na ito, ang mag-remain yung estudyante na satisfied sa instructions ng physical education. So, in your paper, there are a lot of things to strengthen, like learnability, no? Kasi ang dami-dami ng pag-aaral about this, the competence and the ano, and then andali ha. There are also issues on about your sandali, nawala na. No, ang issue talaga dito sobra, sir, is yung anong bago na maaralan natin dito. What's new. And then in your paper, there are still there's still a need to really expound the sampling validity mo, no? The instrument adaptation, kasi nga generic nga siya, paano siya magamit sa PE na very generic siya. And then, um, yun siguro, sir. Ano masasabi mo, sir? If you want to still, if you want to use convergent pa rin, napansin ko lang, lahat kayo convergent. Si convergent lang din yung nailhan? No, explore other methods. Kay has convergent kung talaga mura man nilang nailhan. Wala gina pa ila sa inyo nga si exploratory, si grounded theory or sa kuan. So, sige sir, yun ang challenge ko sa iyo. Yung method mo, is it really convergent or at saka yung iyong variables? There is a need na mag-imbisi ka pa na reading, further reading po. Yun lang, Sir Eric.
Okay.
Thank you, Doc.
Good morning, Sir Harley. Okay. I'd like to support the comment of Dr. Felix that you may explore other variables, sir. Variables that may also influence yung satisfaction of the students in the physical education. Kasi as I checked your source of questionnaire, sir, the actual title of your questionnaire for your dependent variable is Satisfaction Questionnaire with Physical Education Classes. So, does it mean na yung satisfaction nila sa class mismo? And there are actually different indicators which include marami, teaching, satisfaction sa teaching, relaxation, cognitive, improvement of health and fitness, interaction with others, normative success, fun and enjoyment, master experiences, diversionary experiences. All of these aspects are actually constructs of satisfaction of students with physical education classes. So dapat ma-define mo yan siya ng maayos sa paper mo na it's about the satisfaction, not just on PE, but most probably it's about the class, about the experiences in the class. So dapat yun ma-define mo. So yung tinatanong ni Doc Felix kanina. Now, if you will stick with the satisfaction as your DV, I suggest sir magdagdag ka ng isa pang exogenous variable. So probably you may really explore these variables using structural equation model. So meron namang mga studies nagsasabi na si attitude ay may effect sa satisfaction with PE in perception of competence. Pwede mong dagdagan ng isa pang variable. I may suggest about perceived autonomy support. Try mo lang, sir. Explore mo lang yung perceived autonomy support para meron ka ng tatlong exogenous variable and you have one endogenous, which is the satisfaction. And you will have to proceed with structural equation model. So yun, suggestion ko lang yan, sir. No? Para makagawa ka talaga ng model that would best explain the satisfaction of students in PE classes. Okay? So yun lang.
So much, Doc, Eric, and to the panelists.
Thank you so much. And we'll proceed to the comments for Mr. Daryl Cabudol.
Can I start with
Yes,
Sir
Doc.
Kabudol? Sir, good morning. Sige po. As I check your questionnaire for coaching behavior, sir, napansin ko that your indicators are actually related to leadership. Okay? So meron tayong training and instruction as your indicator number 1, then democratic behavior as the indicator number 2, and the third one is autocratic behavior, which is I would say parang can we consider that as a negative type of leadership at yung autocratic, kasi most of the items there are actually in a negative kanang description, the type of is and how would I describe it? It's not a bad leadership style, but mas less preferable siya na leadership style, yung autocratic behavior, no? Tapos you have social support and positive feedback. So I would expect na ang magsagot nito, sino ang magsagot? Sino yung respondents mo, sir?
Student athletes po, Doc.
Student athletes. So they will be assessing the coaching behavior of the students based on those 5 constructs or 5 domains or indicators from training instruction down to positive feedback. Tapos, tinignan ko din yung sports mental training mo. Sa title mo kasi, it's mental skills training. Pero doon sa source ng questionnaire mo, it's sport mental training. Tama? It's sport mental training. And you have 5 indicators: foundation skills, performance skills, interpersonal self-talk, and mental imagery. Okay? Then your dependent variable is, ang nasa title mo kasi, sir, is athletes motivation in sports. Pero yung questionnaire mo